And we're live.
All right, awesome. Hi guys, welcome to our Monday night team training. Today we are having Jessica and Shannon share with us their amazing tips for free groups. If you haven't watched these ladies yet, they are doing amazing. Their social media is amazing. They're both Emerald coaches. I believe Shannon is now a triple Emerald, shooting for Diamond, and just coaches to look out for. And every month they run an incredible free group. So without further ado, Shannon and Jessica, I'd love to hear your tips on how to rock free groups.
All right. Well, thank you for having us on the call. We're just going to kind of go through how Jessica and I run our groups. We've done one together and then we've done some individual, but I think our group one was probably the best both of us have had. So the first thing I want to say is that even when it's a free group, I would definitely say to run it just like any other group. Treat it like a challenge group. And I think that really helps to bring people in and kind of gives them a taste of what our accountability or our challenge groups are. And so we create an event. I think Genevieve has said it before, like her secret is to always create an event for the groups. And I create an event for my free groups as well. And I think you can max out at like 400 invites. So there's really nobody that, you shouldn't be inviting to these groups because it's free. There's no monetary thing that people need to worry about. And I found that, when building my network and when trying to expand my audience and who I'm reaching, a free group is a really great way to kind of introduce me and what I do, instead of kind of being, like, hey, we have friends in common, so I thought I'd start a conversation with you. Hey, you want to buy a challenge pack? Kind of doesn't feel all that natural all the time. So sometimes inviting them to the free group is kind of a gentle introduction to, what I am as a coach and what I do as a coach. So don't limit yourself. Invite anyone that you think might have an interest in it. If it's geared towards women, obviously don't invite men. But you never know who is out there that's gonna take to it. Jessica and I did a no sugar challenge, and that like anybody can benefit from. I'm running a free summer self-love challenge right now. And so, it's just anybody that you think could benefit from it, invite them. And definitely I'd say invite those new contacts, give them a taste of like what you're doing. And so once I get the group set up and everybody's invited and RSVP'd, typically the group will start on a Monday, and by Saturday, I'll put everybody into the private group. So everybody that said yes, and honestly, I put in everybody that says maybe, because again, there's no financial commitment. So if they said maybe, I add them to the group. And so that's Saturday. And then Jessica is going to take it over and kind of talk about the actual posting within the group. So that was kind of the inviting to the free group and the event page, and Jessica's going to take over.
Awesome. Thanks, Shannon. So like Shannon said, once we have set up the event, the weekend before we start the event, we create that private group. This just helps you manage your posts a little bit easier. I've done it both ways, where I've kept it just as an event or done it as a group. And it's much easier to manage when you have it as a group, because you can set up your posts ahead of time and Hootsuite or Buffer. That way you're not, rushing home every night to post your check-ins and things like that. Like, they're all scheduled in advance. So that just kind of helps you stay on top of it. And then you can focus more on following up and things like that, and the actual interactions with your participants throughout the week. So another thing we do is the weekend before, once you have that private group, to start getting people excited about the challenge. Usually we'll set up kind of a we have 2 more days until the challenge. Are you all set? Things like that, getting people excited. I think it's a really good idea to set up a welcome and introduction post the weekend before, so that everyone gets comfortable. This worked really well when Shannon and I ran our group because we had people from all over the U.S. in our group. Obviously, they're not all going to know each other, so it's kind of nice to make people feel comfortable by having them introduce themselves, maybe say why they're participating, have them, do some kind of icebreaker questions like, what are some of your hobbies, things like that, just to make people feel comfortable, and so they know that they can interact with each other as well and comment on each other's posts. So it just gives you a little bit of a better sense of community, I think. And then also, depending on what type of challenge it is, you may need to set up some kind of prep work. So for our for our no sugar challenge, we gave some tips as how to eliminate sugar from your house the weekend before. If you're doing like a clean eating challenge, you may want to give tips on how to meal prep, show some videos of yourself meal prepping, give a grocery list, things like that, so that everyone is ready to go when your challenge starts on Monday. And then as far as your daily posts, we did a morning post every day. So depending on what kind of challenge you're doing, your morning post will be different. For our no sugar challenge, we did kind of an informative or inspiring post. So we would do different studies on the effects of sugar, different articles for people to read that would go out in the morning and get everyone, excited to stay on track for the day, to kind of inform them as to why they were taking this challenge and why it was important to continue with it. And then if you're having like a free fitness challenge, like I just finished up a 5-day flat ab challenge. So every morning I would post the daily workout instead. So it depends on what kind of challenge you're leading. Obviously, then your morning post would be different based on that. And then in the evening, do a check-in post, a kind of an accountability post. Ask them how they did for the day. If it was the no sugar challenge, we'd ask, did you stay sugar-free? How was your nutrition today? Things like that. Are you noticing any benefits to doing this challenge so far? Things like that, so everyone can check in and stay on track. And I've heard from a lot of our participants that it's helped, that they really like that accountability at the end of the day, because they knew that, at the end of the day, they had to check in. So they wanted to stay on track so they could post, yes, I was sugar-free today. And so that just really helps everyone stay on track, and it helps you check in with everyone. On top of that, make sure that you include pictures and visuals to keep it fun. So with all of our posts, we did graphics, some fun clip art, things like that, just to keep it colorful, to grab people's attention, and keep it, lively and colorful for them. And I also think you want to do your best to make it personal. Like Shannon said earlier, this is a great way for new contacts and new people you're meeting to kind of get to know you and your personality. So make sure you make it personal. You can post pictures or videos of yourself doing the workouts, or doing meal prepping, things like that, so they get to see you and kind of get to meet you face to face a little more, and it helps them become a little more comfortable with you and get to know you a little bit better. So I think that was pretty much what I had to say about the posts, and then Shannon's going to kind of take over from here.
So I think it's been said many times before, like, just because things are scheduled out doesn't mean that you can just kind of let the group run itself. So definitely make it, schedule in time every evening, or maybe it's at your lunch break or whatever time of the day works for you, to go back in and check in on what people are posting. I think for the no sugar challenge, people struggled around that 3:00 time. So maybe go in and give kind of some support and reaffirm people that you can do it, even if people slip up, just continuing to encourage them and, be a coach, be right there with them through it. And then, make sure that you also do the daily kind of check-in or daily assignment. I know for the no sugar challenge, obviously we had to commit to not eating sugar, which was hard for me. But this challenge that I'm doing right now, self-love, there's little daily kind of reflections things, and I actually have to sit down and calm myself down and go and actually do those assignments too, so that I'm really getting the benefit of the challenge that I'm giving to other people, and I can kind of know what they're going through. So I think that's also really important. And like Jessica said, like, make it personal. When we challenged in the sugar group, we shared it. We're not perfect just because we're coaches. So I think that helps to let other people know that like we're real people. And so they might share more openly or, all of that. And then, so towards the end of the week, I guess I should have said this in the beginning. Typically, we've been running our free group 2 Mondays before the next challenge group starts. So that you have kind of a week between your free group ending and your next challenge group starting, so that then the people that are in your free group, you can then invite to your challenge group. So kind of towards the end of the week, maybe on Friday, put out an invite to everybody of, hey, if you guys enjoyed this group, we have a challenge group starting on Monday, June 27th or whatever it is, and see if people are interested in that, especially when it's fitness related. It's kind of an easy lead in of like, if you guys benefited from the accountability and want to continue with your goals, our next challenge group is starting in a week. You have time to set up, you have time to prepare. And then, also do those personal invites. Maybe there's people that posted a lot in the group and you really see them getting a benefit. Send them a personal message, inviting them to your next challenge group. And even the people that are really quiet, I'd say reach out to them and just check in with them. Send them a personal message being like, hey, I know that you didn't post that much. Just kind of want to check in and see, was there something that you benefited from the group, or is there something that I could have done better to support you? And sometimes the quiet ones are like taking it all in, and so you kind of have to go and pull it out of them and see where they're at. But I would always say to individually follow up with people and check in with them, thank them for participating. I think something I might also add to my free group this time is to see what group would benefit other people. I have my ideas, what I think mainly it's what I need to work on. And so I think other people need to, but kind of putting it out to the group of maybe what would they benefit from, what kind of challenge group would be beneficial to them. And then maybe making that the next month's challenge so that they see that we're taking into account like what they're looking for and what their needs are. Those little personal touches that we can get in really do make a difference. And then I'm going to pass it back over to Jessica.
All right. Yeah. So like Shannon said, at the end of the group, it's important to follow up with everyone. Like she said, it's important to message those that were really active and those that were not. I mean, I had this happen literally in my last group. I had a girl that did not post at all, but she confirmed that she was attending. And then I messaged her and she was like, yeah, the challenge was great. So I think it's just really important that you follow up with everyone, because you may think that they aren't participating, but they just may not be sharing as much as others. So just sending that personal message, and you can even just follow a script. I usually type something up in Word saying, hey, so-and-so, thanks for doing my challenge. How did it go for you? And then I go into, if you'd like the accountability of a group, I'm leading this month-long challenge group, starting July 5th. Here's what you'll get if you sign up. Would you like more information? So I've been kind of doing that with everybody at the end. And then also in the group page, we'll still post a general thank you post where we pretty much say the same thing. Just thanks for participating. It was really great doing this clean eating challenge with you, doing this no sugar challenge with you, and then kind of putting more information about your next challenge group and breaking it down and putting all the benefits. You'll get your month of Shakeology, you'll get your entire workout program, you'll get your portion fix containers, you'll get the daily accountability, just like this group if you sign up. So breaking that all down for them in a general post, as well as sending out those individual messages, I think that just helps so that everyone is being followed up with. Whoop. And then let's see. One other thing that I just wanted to mention that sometimes helps, in some of the free groups I've done, I've used prizes, and other ones we haven't. For our No Sugar Challenge, we didn't use any prizes, and I still feel like Shannon said, it was a really successful group. It went really well for both of us. It was really nice leading it together and being able to kind of bounce ideas off each other and having both of us there to check in. So overall, that group went really, really well. But sometimes it's nice to throw in prizes. I've done a couple. If it's been kind of quiet, I'll say, everyone that posts a sweaty selfie tonight will be put in a drawing for a special gift. And I don't say what it is, but I've done like $5 gift cards to Starbucks, or, if it's a more local group, I've done a little bag with, granola bars and trail mix and things like that. I mean, just really simple things just to keep people engaged. So that's an option. It's definitely not something you need to do. Like I said, I think your group can be successful either way, but it's just something to keep in mind. If participation's low or you just want to get, the energy up, you may want to throw in a little prize or something too. So yeah, I think those were pretty much our tips for how to run a free group. If you are thinking about running one, you haven't run one before, I highly suggest teaming up with someone else. Shannon and I really enjoyed working together, and we're hoping to do another free group in the future, maybe next month. So it's really nice to be able to have that other person to work with and to plan things out with. It's just nice to have somebody else to bounce ideas off of. So yeah, do you have anything else you want to add, Shannon?
I think we covered all the bases. Do you guys have any questions?
No questions. I was just going to say, I like that you guys, like Shannon, I know you said you were kind of doing groups that maybe you need help with, but I think that's a great idea because you kind of find your niche that way, and you kind of do groups where you're like, I need help with sugar, and then you find other people that are similar to you, or self-love, or whatever it is. So I really liked that. And then just sort of like for new coaches, maybe they're not too familiar with clean eating, but I always say, you can come at it as a challenger. You can be like, listen, I'm not good at clean eating, but I need this accountability and I'd love for you to join, and, we can do this together. So for any coaches that feel like maybe they don't know a lot about, a no sugar diet or a clean eating diet, they can just come at it from a challenger kind of approach and be like, I need help with it. Anybody that wants accountability can join. So, but yeah, I loved it. So many takeaways. So.
Yeah, was just going to chime in too. I love what you ladies said. Sounds like you're rocking free groups for sure. But I really like what you said about, making sure that you're participating with your participants. I think that's huge, especially with what you're saying, Shannon, for the no sugar. Then you know what they're going through and the struggles. Like you said, you can check in at 3 p.m. and, maybe you're struggling then, and you can share something, a way that you're overcoming that struggle. So I love that you mentioned that, because that's, it's no fun if you're just kind of there and supporting them, but, maybe you're not really going through the motions with them. So that's awesome. All right.
I've got a question about the business side. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a tip from Christy about when you're setting up the event and people message you that they're interested. She gets them to sign up for a free Team Beachbody Club account under her coach rep, and then she'll add them to the free group. So that way, you're going to be posting about fitness programs and Shakeology in there, and some people would, they'll go back later and they'll buy something from Beachbody, and you won't get the referral for it because they looked at it through someone else. Is this something that y'all do?
I did that when I would definitely recommend doing that for people. Some coaches are really strict with it and they won't let you into the group unless you create that free account. I was never that strict. If somebody didn't sign up, I would let them in anyway, but I would try to get them to sign up for a free account. But
yeah.
Okay, so try it. Just maybe not be strict, and maybe you can get them to go back later.
Yeah, I do the same thing where, if you can ask them, if they're not willing, you can always ask for their email address and then just keep in contact with them behind the scenes too during the challenge group as well.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I think having them sign up under you as a coach is a great way to kind of keep track of them. I do know that some people are they're like, well, it's a free group. Why do I have to then go and do this extra step? And I also have had problems sometimes, and I need to get better at getting people to just sign up with me as a free coach. But I do know when people have come back and then want to order under me, they get confused by the website, and I'm not able to do the mobile app, which I really like because it takes all the guesswork out for them. So I'm not able to do that if they're already signed up under me, but it is a great way to be able to actually like keep track of who's been in the groups and who your potential customers are.
Those are all the questions I had.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. That was such an awesome call. And yeah, that's it. We will see you next Monday, and Laura will post the recording in the team page. And thank you again, guys.
Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.